In exactly 1 week, millions of people will celebrate the arrival of 2026. They will make resolutions, buy new planners, and promise themselves that this is the year. But I'm going to tell you something most people won't. For 95% of those people, 2026 will be simply a 2025 wearing a different mask. Because you cannot move into a new year while carrying an old self. So today is 24th of December. Look around you, the world is caught in a fever of time. Millions are counting down, believing that ticking of a clock at midnight on 31st of December somehow possesses some magical power to transform their lives. They buy new journals, they write new year, new me on social media, and then they wait for the calendar to do the work, which they originally refused to do within themselves. But as a student of a law, you must know better. Hi, this side Avit Bansal. I'm an author and a life coach in the art of conscious living. And my main intention here to be available on YouTube and various other platforms is just to simply spread the right awareness about the phenomena of life, what people call as manifestation. So Neville Goddard pointed out at one particular fact. The clock is liar. Time does not change a man. Only a change of consciousness changes a man. So if you walk across the threshold of January the 1st, with the same concept of yourself that you carried throughout 2025, you will find nothing but a mirror. So 2026 will not be a new for you. It will be simply 2025 wearing a different mask. You will see the same bank account struggles, the same relationship patterns, and the same feeling of almost but not quite, because you're trying to change the reflection without changing the face that stands before the mirror. We have 8 days left, and in the ancient of mysteries, as Neville Goddard taught us, the number 8 signifies a new beginning, the circumcision of the heart. But the beginning cannot happen until there is a death of the old self. So today, we are not here to plan a new year. We are here to die to the version that you created the limitations of your past. We are here to prepare the temple, the ground for the future. And do you know why do 90% of the New Year's resolutions fail by the end of the January, the very first month of any new year? The reason is because they are born from the womb of lack. They are the child of the state of lack. And when people say, in 2026 I will be finally wealthy, your subconscious hears the confession that I am currently poor. And when people say, I will find love this year, you're screaming to the world that I am lonely right now. So you are pleading with the shadows to change while you remain the same. Neville Goddard taught us that your I am is the only reality, and it does not bargain, it does not wait, it only reflects. You do not manifest what you want. You manifest which are conscious of being. So if you enter the new year with a feeling of wanting, the law will faithfully provide you with more wanting. You will spend next 365 days in the state of desire, but never in the state of possession. This is why hard work fails. And this is why hustle is often just a frantic attempt to just escape a state you haven't actually left. And to change the year, you must move from the state of seeking to the state of having. You must move from the feeling of I will be in the future to I am. But before we can inhabit the new, we must clear the wreckage of the old. And this is what Neville Goddard was pointing out to the fact of life. So for this particular thing, Neville gave us a tool that he called the most important secret in the Bible. And it was the pruning shears of revision. Your past is not fixed. It's a living plastic thing. Every failure from 2025 that you still carry as a memory is actually a seed currently growing in the garden of 2026. If you still feel the sting of the lost job, maybe a broken heart, maybe a missed opportunity. You're literally feeding those ghosts right now. We have 8 days to prune the vine. Just 8 days. Just think of one moment from 2025 that still feels heavy. I want you to look at it as not a regret in your life, but with the cold eye of architect. A cold eye of architect looking at the structural crack, just like that. So close your eyes. Go back to that moment. Now use your imagination to rewrite that script. Do not see it as it happened. No, absolutely not. See it as it should have happened, according to you only. If someone spoke to you harshly, and they were very harsh and rude to you, you hear them praising you. If you lost money, maybe some property, you feel the handshake of successful deal. Don't just daydream, feel the relief. If the revised version were true, what you're imagining, how would your chest feel? How would your breathing change? How that feeling? You must hold that feeling until it takes the tones of reality. And by doing this today on 24th, you're reaching into the timeline, pulling the poison out of your future. Listen this very carefully. By revising, you go back into time and you pull out the poison from the future. You're clearing the site for the skyscraper that you are about to build for your 2026. And now that site is clear, we draft a blueprint. So I say to you in this video, stop writing to-do list. They are the tools of the servants. You are an architect. You are the operant power. So you must write to-be list, not to-do, to-be list. So you must ask yourself, who must I become for my desires to feel natural? Who must I become? Who must I become for my desires to feel natural? And if you want abundance, you must stop being the person who's surprised by a windfall and start being the person for whom the luxury is actually normal for life. And how would the version of you who already has succeeded walk into a room? Do they walk with a sense of urgency and fear, or with a calm, slow step of someone who owns this building? How would you walk? How do they breathe? When they look at their phone and they see a notification, do they expect a bad news, or are they bored by their own success? The world is your mirror. If you want a different reflection in 2026, you must change the face now. So in your workbook, which we will start using in a few days, I want you to draft a new name. If 2025 called you struggling, you must call 2026 a secured one. If 2025 called you invisible, 2026 must call you chosen one. And this is not fake it until you make it. No. This is effort. But what I am telling you is an assumption, is a state of mind. You're assuming the identity of a person who you want to be until that particular identity becomes your main home, or maybe your state. And this is how you become. When your inner name changes, the world has no choice but to call you by that new name. So everything that we have discussed today, revision, the to-be lists, the concept of self, is just the foundation. Shifting your entire identity is most difficult and sacred work for a human, that which a human can perform. It requires more than just this 15 minutes video. And this is why on January 1st, I'm launching one of the most important work for my career, the Reality Architect. And it is going to be a 10-episode masterclass in the conscious construction, starting in 2026 January 1st. So we are going to talk not about the tips and tricks. No, this is not what I do. We are going to go episode by episode through the deep architecture of your own soul. We'll be constructing a beautiful life that which we desire to live in. So Personally, I have spent months in drafting this particular digital architecture workbook for this particular series. It is a very professional framework which I use for myself and the people I guide. It contains the revision logs, the identity drafting sheets, the mental diet trackers that you need to stay in the state. So I'm releasing this work of mine for you all, for us all, in which I will be personally walking with you. I'll be using it myself once again, but alongside with you on the New Year's Day. It is designed for those who maybe are using iPads, maybe physical blueprints or books. So using this, we will be moving from watching to building. So as you leave this video today, do not look at the calendar. What I would suggest, do not wait for the 31st. So tonight, as you drift into that beautiful drowsy state between walking and sleep, what people call as SATs, or just before going to the sleep, do not take with yourself the problem of 2025. They are dead. Consider them as dead. Leave them be. Leave them in the tomb of this old year of 2025. Leave them be. Do not disturb the dead. And you instead clothe yourself in the garment of 2026. Feel the naturalness of being that person now, which you're planning to be in 2026. Say to yourself, not as a hope, but as a command. Your wish is the command. And you say to yourself, I am that which I desire to be. The foundation is clear. And now the architect has arrived. And you are the architect because you are the operant power.